Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show. So if you can't tell from looking at my extremely white background, I'm taking all my posters down so that I can look at it like a blank canvas. Unfortunately, I have so many oddly shaped posters that I have to kind of shuffle them around like Tetris until I figure out exactly how I want it. So background today is a little bit bright, but we'll get past it, y'all. And it doesn't even matter because guess what? You know how I just mentioned that there might be a third faction in TF2 and we were talking about the whole gray side of it, what that could possibly be if it was the robot army as it had been rumored? So today they unveiled the man versus machine horde mode that's going to be co-op. They put out an official video, which is great. It acts as a trailer. I'll link you guys in the description. As always, it's Valve and it's hilarious. What I think is interesting is there are lots of different robots that you go up against. It's not just like, alright, we're gonna take the Team Fortress 2 classes and we're just going to turn them into robots and then have a lot of them and you fight those. There is a little bit of that. Obviously, the robots, some of them are fashioned after the original TF2 classes, but they're adding in a lot more. They have a full listing online of what the Grey Horde is, all of the different things that are going to be in it, one of which is kind of a mystery. You don't know what it's going to look like, but some of them are huge, some of them are smaller, so it's going to be really fun. Now, unfortunately, they didn't build it in so that it could eventually become a 1v1v1. It's just not a thing that could happen the way that they made this horde. So that's kind of sad. I think that some people were hoping it could possibly expand into that, but that's okay. It's still allowing the game to grow and reinvigorate it possibly for people who have, left it behind. As with the trailer, I will also link you to the site that details all of the different things that are going to be in the horde so that you can read that, because it's very fun. Now, we've talked a little bit in the past about Borderlands 2 and the DLC that's going to be coming out that's going to allow you to play a new class called the Necromancer. Something interesting is that there's a talent tree that the Necromancer has that allows for newer players to enjoy the game a bit more and to not kind of drag their team down. How does it help out a newbie player? It does things like allowing for bullets to auto ricochet so that they have a greater chance of actually hitting something if you're not quite as good at aiming, things like that. Now, I think that this is really cool. I think it's a very, very good idea. It's something that'll allow you to play it easier with your sibling, to play it easier with your parents, with your significant other, whatever. But that last one, unfortunately, is what has caused some scandal. So a dev at Gearbox, when talking to Eurogamer, rather than calling it Best Friends Forever, called it the girlfriend mode. Now, we here at PHTC are big fans of equality for all races, genders, shapes, sizes, and forms of gamers. If you didn't know that, welcome, you must be new. Now, saying that, let me follow it up by also saying that this situation, with everybody getting really upset about this statement, feels like a strange form of sensationalism. We're an adolescent community that's going through a lot of really interesting growing pains while people are still not entirely feeling safe and comfortable and listened to across the board, and that's going to happen. Now, should we point it out and bring it up when it does happen so that people get more aware of not putting their foot in their mouth? Absolutely. It sucks that one dev can say something that I'm sure he did not mean as an attack, something that he said behind closed doors that he personally thought was funny, and many of us don't think it's funny at all because we get all offended. But just from saying it in an interview, it takes on this sensationalism, and then the entire talent tree, the entire point of the news in general, has this weird taint to it. I don't want to watch a chick flick. No, that book's for girls. I don't want to play girlfriend mode. You gotta be careful, devs, because unfortunately the things that you say in interviews not only can help perpetuate the stereotypes that we're all fighting against, it can also delegitimize the work that you guys have been doing and the things that you really want to add to your game. Do I think that Best Friends Forever is a cool talent tree that should absolutely be implemented? Yes! Definitely! I think it's so cool. Anything that allows more and more people to game and have fun, especially in a cooperative sense, is great. And yes, it's at the center of a scandal right now, and that's unfortunate, but I think that it'll be forgotten soon enough, especially since it's DLC, and then people will actually be able to enjoy it. As a final bit of news, people have been asking a lot of questions about Amnesia Machine for Pigs, especially about the storyline and how the Chinese room was going to maybe help out with the storyline and the way that it progresses in the game. One of the big questions being whether or not it would be kind of like Dear Esther. Now, in Dear Esther, there are nuggets of story. It's not linear. You just find pieces of story and you kind of put them together yourself. While I didn't enjoy Dear Esther, I did think that the storytelling route was nice because it allowed you to think and put it together yourself. It didn't explain too much or too little. So when being asked whether or not that would be part of a Machine for Pigs, they said, you know, it's actually going to progress fairly linearly, but they are going to take things that they learned from Dear Esther, like not over-explaining. I want a lot of it to be things that we assume, that we get like pieces of information and we just kind of put it together, fill in the blanks ourselves, and that way also everyone's experience is different in that way. Certain people will think certain things about it, much like watching a movie that has a lot of vague details. I've wondered for a while what the Chinese room was going to bring to Machine for Pigs, so it's cool to hear them talk about it. Even if they can't give us a lot of details, it's nice to hear that they're finding interesting ways to help out with this project, because they really need to do it right considering how well Amnesia did. Anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you want to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope that you guys had an amazing day, and I will talk to you again on Wednesday. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah! No, that book's for girls.